So I wanted to make a video on how to be sustainable or how to reduce your waste and also maybe save money along the way while you're at home. I am making this video because I've been feeling super guilty about the waste that I'm putting out there and want to make sure that I'm also being mindful about how much waste I put out and maybe give you some tips that you can bring to your household. Obviously, there are a lot of things that are more important right now than how to reduce your waste at home, like making sure your family is healthy, making sure you're healthy, making sure your community can survive after COVID. So I don't want to say that I'm making this more important than that. I'm not. I'm simply somebody who's interested in sustainability and who is trying to offer people who are also interested in that path some tips for getting started at home right now. What can you do? Also, not claiming to be a zero waste or low waste expert. Trust me, I am not. I buy my fruits in plastic. I can't sit here and be like, I am the queen of zero waste. I am the queen of minimal use, because I'm not. But I will say that I am somebody who is deeply interested in sustainability in ways that I can reduce my waste. I first was introduced to the zero waste movement in 2015 through my cousin. She sent me a link to a video of Lauren Singer, who is the CEO and founder of the Package Free Shop in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I was fascinated by her story, how she could fit her waste, 4 years worth of waste, in one small mason jar. I wanted to learn what I could do to make sure that I was throwing out as little as I could. So one of my biggest challenges with trying to live a minimal waste lifestyle has been the inability to compost, and also just the inability to be more mindful as to where my fruits and vegetables are coming from, which has ended up with me using more plastic than I want to use. So typically we'd compost our food scraps and I'd take them to the Union Square composting area once a week or once every 2 weeks, and Grow NYC would take care of it. But Grow NYC is shut down right now. I don't have a backyard. I don't have a place to compost here. I guess I could create my own composting bin at home, but I'm not there yet. Those are the things that I haven't been able to do right now, but I am prioritizing the things that I do have in my control. So because of that, I want to kind of give you a little background of the 3 R's that we all learn when it comes to sustainability or like waste management, and that is to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Those are the 3 R's that we learn in school and that everybody kind of is taught to do. I want to add refuse to that, and these aren't words that I'm adding by myself. I didn't invent this. This is something that I've learned through reading about sustainability and reading about the zero waste lifestyle, is first to refuse before you even reduce. So first, say no to things before you think about how you're going to reduce what you use. And so that it'd be refuse, reduce, reuse. And even before recycling, you're going to want to repurpose or repair an item. Then you'll have recycling. And lastly, it'll be to rot or to compost. So those are like the 6 R's. It's really not just 3, it's more than that. And lately I've really been honing in on the refuse part. I've really been refusing a lot of things. I've been refusing to, take part in food waste through my Cocinar with what I got challenge, really using up what I have before I go out and say I need to buy more groceries. I have been trying so hard to say no to certain items that I want right now, like watercolors, and going to watercoloring, because I have certain things in my house right now that I'm using and can use for entertainment. And most of the tips that I'm going to offer today are going to be in that reduce and refuse category. So let's get started. First tip is to reduce the amount of paper towels that you use. We use rags and napkins for different things around the house. And growing up, my mom would always repurpose an old t-shirt to mop the floor, to clean different surfaces in the house. Just to give you a little preview of what that looks like for us right now, here is an old t-shirt that used to be a picture of Patti Smith that I now use to take off my eye makeup, my mascara, and I use coconut oil for mascara removal, by the way. Just another thing. This was an old, I don't even know, I think they were leggings, but they like had holes in areas where they shouldn't have holes. So I cut it up, and now we use this to clean different surfaces around the house. Then we got these white napkins, which I'm not too fond of, but we got them already, so we're using them, that we use for our meals. When people come over, we give them a napkin. And lastly, to mop, we use this reusable, I don't even know what you call it, but it's a sleeve that you put on the Swiffer, and you can just throw it in the laundry and wash it. So these are the things that we are using. You can check your closet, see what shirt you're never gonna wear again or has holes in it that you can do something with instead of throwing it in the trash. Tip number 2 is to buy yourself a menstrual cup. So I don't use tampons or pads. I've spoken about this in the past. I stopped buying them when I was introduced to the zero waste movement, and I was reading articles that people are hoarding different sanitary products like tampons and pads, which disproportionately affects low-income communities who aren't able to like buy in bulk all at once what they'll need. So if you are in the position to make an investment up front, then I do recommend getting yourself a cup. This is the one I use. It's a Lunette cup. It's the one that I buy for my family or have purchased for my family as gifts. Super easy to use, super easy to clean. I don't even have to think about running to CVS to get things when it's my time of the month. So that's something that'll save you money in the long run. It does cost money up front, but trust me, you'll save more in the end, and you'll help our planet. Tip number 3 is to make your own all-purpose cleaner. I'm gonna be honest here and say this liquid that you see in here, I did not make. I got this spray bottle as a gift from a friend for my birthday from the Grove Collective, and it came with like a little liquid substance that you'd have to mix it with water, and I was just supposed to shake it in. But now that I'm running low and we're gonna be cleaning the house tomorrow, I need to make my own. And how exactly am I gonna do that? So there are a lot of DIY recipes. I found one that was super easy. It requires just water, white vinegar, white distilled vinegar, and your choice of a essential oil. Again, going back to refusing to buy things that you don't need, I don't have distilled white vinegar sitting around the house, so I Googled some substitutes, and guess what I found? Apparently, apple cider vinegar could be a substitute. And I have a lot of these around the house. Well, I actually have one of these and then a huger bottle. So I'm gonna sub apple cider vinegar for that white vinegar that I don't have. And it should be fine. Tip number 4 is to make your own soap. So we make our own hand and dish soap. We don't make our own body soap. For the body soap, I would say first use up what you have. After you do, then think about soap that you can buy that isn't in a plastic container or that just doesn't come wrapped in anything. We purchased a pack of Dove's soap, and this does have a packaging container, but it's not like a plastic bottle of body wash. So once we're done here, we're gonna switch over to just purchasing a soap by itself without the packaging. On the hand and dish soap side, we actually recently, I think halfway through living together, decided, or I convinced Ari, like, let's think about making our own soap. We don't need to buy more. Let's try to DIY it. And he was hesitant at first, but now he's the one who makes it for us. And it's so easy that I want to invite Ari. Let's bring him in. Okay, so I decided to bring in Ari here because, you know what? He's the one who makes it. So Ari, please tell us what the process of first, before you even tell us what you need to make your own dish soap and hand soap, tell us how you feel about even making your own soap? Like, is it easy? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, at first I was very averse to it.
Yeah.
I did not want to do anything like this. Definitely stepping outside of my comfort zone. Also, just having to do something else seemed like an extra step to make my life what seemed like harder at the time, but it's actually easy.
Yeah. So what, you just used regular Castile soap and...
Yeah, I use liquid Castile soap. I believe it's the recipe we found, you put in 3/4 cup of that.
Yeah.
1/4 cup of water, but I just kind of eyeball it.
At this point, he's so good at making it, he's like...
Yeah, I mean, it takes 5 seconds, so...
It takes 5 seconds. You heard it from here first, from here. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, fellas. Tip number 5. So with coronavirus and, us needing to self-quarantine, but needing to leave the house for groceries or whatever, we are now in New York City required to wear masks at all times. So how could you make your own mask at home? I don't know how to do this. Again, Ari made his own mask. So we had lying around the house just a cloth from Lush. It's like a scarf that I gave to Ari to make his own mask. And this is what it looks like. Ow, ow. Okay, whatever. He uses this when he goes out because we weren't going to buy a new one. And there were so many different, instructions online, people sharing these creative ways they're making masks. It doesn't even need to be a cloth. And if you're not going to go out that much, I want to make a little note here and just say, I am in the position that as a white passing Latina, I can wear a DIY mask and not be seen as a threat. A lot of other people, especially Black men, can't go in to places with a DIY mask and not be afraid for their lives. So just wanted to put that point in there so we are all aware and always thinking about our privilege in life. Tip number 6, cocinar with what I got. So this is exactly what it sounds like. Cook with the stuff that you have at home. Refuse to get groceries if you don't need it. So last week I was like, oh, I have no more food to make. I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I'm out of food. But I'm not out of food. I'm not. I will share pictures of what I had in my pantry when I did sort them out, just so you can see that I have so much stuff that I can still make food out of, even if it's not the food that I necessarily want, which would have been like almond milk, fresh vegetables, whatever. I can still make food with what I have, and so that I'm gonna do until May 6th. Tip number 7 is to buy through a community-supported agriculture farm. I've never purchased through a CSA before since I used to work so close to the farmer's market. I would just go and get some stuff that I needed that I couldn't buy elsewhere at the supermarkets. Definitely gonna be looking into that for May and for our groceries because we wanna support our local farmers. We wanna make sure that, there is minimal food waste, and a lot of people just have an abundance of vegetables and fruits because restaurants are closed. And so if they typically would have sold to a restaurant, they don't have that option anymore. My friend Lydia from the Latinas Get Money community, she's shared a link with me to where you can find your local CSA. So I'm gonna share that with you as well. And lastly, tip number 8 is get yourself a water bottle, a reusable water bottle. I got mine here and I'm gonna take a sip of this. A lot of people have been hoarding plastic water bottles for some odd reason. My parents included. I'm watching you. No judgment, no judgment. But seriously, if your water is okay to drink from the tap, just drink the tap water or get yourself a Brita filter. We have a Brita filter for our tap water, so we'll just get it from the sink. But you can also get a jug and just do it that way. Of course, the Brita filters aren't zero waste or plastic free, but it's a better alternative than buying cases of water at a time. So that's my last tip, and that's a wrap for things that you can do to minimize your waste at home. If you have any other tips, make sure to leave them down below in the comments. And if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and show me some love. All right, bye guys.